Right, what is up, my entertainment junkies? And today we were reacting to woke devs racist meltdown over white men backfires. So I like it whenever idiots plans backfire. So let's watch it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So at this point, I think it's no
I
mystery
also
that
like
on
Rev. So
Twitter you will see some of the most toxic behavior rewarded if the target is one that people think
of
is an
course it's
acceptable one
Twitter.
to attack. And the reactions to this tweet parallel a lot of the issues in the gaming industry currently, and I want to talk about how they relate. So here we have this tweet, very basic, just saying men's mental health matters. Now, unless you're a psychopath, I think
Okay.
this is something we can all agree on. Oh wait, this is Twitter. So here
All right, no, Rev's probably gonna read. Well, if men's mental health. Oh yeah, I did watch this part. I think I watched 1 minute into it and then decided I'm gonna
this tweet
do it.
reacting to it saying, if men's mental health mattered to men, they'd be creating safe spaces for themselves and each other, pursuing therapy and creating community. Instead, they perpetuate the very behavior systems that have handicapped them in the first place, refuse to support or create community amongst each other, severely damage the women in their lives who try to care for them, and attack women online for not doing the work for them in replies to tweets like the one below. LOL.
One, just because that's the way that you pick guys who you pick treat you doesn't mean every guy treats them that way. There's a common denominator here, and I can guarantee you it's not the guy. Um, Two, we tried. We want to have our own space, but as soon as we do, it is sexist to have our own space. Girls have to be included if they want to be. It has to cater to women. If women bitch, then they get their way. There's a reason why it's happy wife, happy life instead of happy husband. Find something that rhymes with that. But we are socially constructed, socially there to make women happy. And then we try our best to make the women happy, and then we fucked up our mental health. Oh well, it's your fault. You should have done better for you. You tore down all our fucking uh, men's only spaces. Hell, golf is the perfect example. If you don't know what golf stands for, it's literally an acronym. Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. That's what golf is. But nope, that's racist to keep. I mean, it's sexist to keep women away from a man's only space.
Well, and you can see 164,000 likes on a tweet that's basically
What?
just saying, men, you deserve everything bad happening to you and it's all your fault. Now, a lot of people looked at some of the mentions here of safe spaces,
Twitter is a
and
toxic
communities, and
cesspool.
the claim that men don't have any of these things or have never tried. And a lot of people countered with gaming. Okay, that is a space that only a decade or two ago was.
Really, gaming. VTubers exist and are majority female, and majority of them play games. Female streamers are the most popular streamers, and they mostly stream games. Fuck.
Predominantly men. I think it's no secret, and a lot of people found community amongst gaming, right? But nowadays, if you look at the gaming industry in particular, things look very different than they did.
Oh yeah, and the freaking gaming all these gaming devs are fucking trying to cater it more towards women and away from men. So where's our space again?
About 20 years ago. And it's not just that there's more female gamers, it's more about the people making the games. The people making the games, whether male or female, have entered the space with an agenda that often demonizes men. And I think that is greatly exemplified by several stories we're going to look at today involving the gaming industry and those involved with it, beginning with this headline right here. Game Developers Conference Advisor and video game consultant and developer Marina Diaz says F white men and gatekeepers. This is a very common gaslighting
That's
strategy for
racist.
people like this who invade someone else's hobby or space and then kick out the original people and said it was never for you in the first place. Now, who is this individual? Well, you can see she's already privated because people like this are totally afraid of any sort of criticism. But she's also the CEO of a gaming company called Three of Cups, where you can see their mission statement here. Three of Cups Games is an ethical, diverse, and inclusive game studio based in London, UK.
AKA,
We
they make
believe
bad
that
games.
we can help to change.
I'm not saying that you can't have a game that is ethical, diverse, and inclusive. I'm saying if that's your main selling point, that's probably what you're going to be pushing, and you're going to pushing that more than a good story, mechanics, good gimmick. No, yeah, your gimmick's going to be, oh, we are inclusive and diverse and ethical. No, that's not how games work. Look, most of the bad games, the best games, are not ethical or diverse or inclusive because we have to kill something. That's not ethical at all. Diverse, you are meant to be the only character that matters to you. Unless it's a team game and then your team is supposed to be the only one, people that matter to you. So diverse and inclusive, no.
The world through games. We believe in emotions. We believe in making games for everyone. But above all, we believe in people. Amazing. A whole bunch of word salad about diversity and inclusivity. But they also say we believe in making games for everyone. Well, except for what.
A game made for everyone is a game that is born to fail. There's a reason why there's so many games out there right now. Fuck, Dark Souls is a good example. Any Souls because it is hard. It is not made for everyone. It's made for people who want a challenge. Fuck, Candy Crush is made for people who just want a casual experience every now and again. Pokemon is, well, that's actually made for multiple people because you have the strategists, the completionists. Pokemon is probably going to be the closest you're going to get to a game for everybody. But still, that's not made for everybody because some people don't like turn-based games.
White men, apparently. So, here's a tweet she made only a couple of days ago saying, I went from thinking I'm a shitty designer to consult and train teams at one of the biggest games companies in the world. Keep believing in yourself and F white men and gatekeepers. You'll...
I feel like I have to actually, first off, thinking about, I didn't even pay attention to that because I was thinking about this, but a game made for everybody would have to include fighting, include strategy, include shooting, include turn-based. It's going to include all these things and have different parts at different times, and no one's going to like it because some people don't just absolutely hate turn-based. There's very few turn-based games I like. Well, actually, that's starting to change because I guess it's just because I'm getting older and I like the strategy behind it. And before it's like, okay, I want to kill things as fast as possible. How do I do that? So, it might be an age thing, but I didn't used to like strategy games. I used to freaking say, turn-based, no, wait, Pokemon's a turn-based game, isn't it? Except for Pokemon, turn-based, fuck you. And my first Pokemon game was Mystery Dungeon, which was not exactly, it was a different kind of turn-based. And then I gradually grew into turn-based. But some people don't like shooter games. I grew out of shooters. If you added a shooter into Monster Hunter, where you were required to get past this part to beat it, I would drop Monster Hunter. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, yeah, you can be a shooter if you want to. But no, and I'm not talking about FPS, first-person shooter. I'm talking about multiplayer first-person shooters, not solo one shooters or, not games like Medal of Honor or Monster Hunter Archery. But whenever it's a toxic fan base, because people will find a way to cheat, and then if you find your own way to play, they're gonna bitch at you saying, "Oh, you're a noob. You're just using this strategy because you can't get killed any way." Yeah, I'm using a strategy that works.
You'll see a common pattern here where every single thing she does in her life, she counters by also saying something negative about white people, in particular white men, because apparently that's what's on her mind constantly. But besides the racism and the misandry down here, we have this statement, which I don't know why she thinks this is an own. She's basically saying she's admitting that she's not a very good designer, but then saying that she's been entrusted with the responsibility of consulting and training teams at one of the biggest games companies in the world. This is not something you should probably be saying. It confirms a lot of suspicions people have about the qualifications of people in the industry right now. But moving forward, she had many other tweets. This one was from back in April, where she said, "Growing my abs to crush nuts and obnoxious white men with them." She literally can't even work out without thinking about white men. It's very, very strange. Here's another one from earlier this year in April. Why white men over 40, for being somehow generous, are allergic to saying the word diversity. And this is also a common pattern with a lot of people in the gaming industry or games journalists who have this very strange infatuation with older male figures. They're always angry at older male figures, with pretty much at that point the jokes write themselves.
Alright, seriously though, would this be sexism or racism or both? Because she keeps specifying white men. So she's not talking about white women or black men or Mexican men or other things. Just white men. So what would that be?
But in this scenario, you have someone who's in their 40s, right? Older people in the industry, and they're saying, like, why don't they buy into my version of diversity? Well, probably because they have a lot of life experience, and they see what you mean by diversity, which is not actually diversity, because your diversity doesn't include them or other people you don't like. So they see this and they just don't buy into it, and that makes you angry. But she would continue with other tweets where she was talking about going to a conference and saying that she met someone she has a lot of respect and she admires, and she is saying we need more people like her to kick the old white privileged asses. Again, nothing happens without thinking about white people as a secondary response. Here's another one where she was...
I'm sick of hearing white privilege. It does not exist. Because by saying that, you're saying that old Jim Bob who lives in a trailer park has more privilege than Barack Obama or Michael Jordan or Shaq. So he has more privilege than them who have millions of dollars, live in multi-million-dollar properties. Fucking, I don't know what they have, but probably cruise ships and boats. So the legless veteran who lives under the bridge because we treat our veterans so bad, who just happens to be white, is less privileged than, it has more privilege than them. No, it's not white privilege, it's money privilege. It's American privilege. Because everybody in America is privileged. We can claw ourselves, it's hard, but we can claw ourselves out of any situation we want. It is family privileged. If you are privileged enough to have a decent family who is still together, you have an advantage and you have a privilege over old freaking whoever, because I can guarantee you know someone who has a single parent household and had to they are either in jail, extremely poor, or they had to work their ass off to get out of that situation. But get what comes with a two-parent household? Dual income, more money. We all have different privileges. It does not have anything to do with our skin color. Hell, I have freaking people around me who makes more money than I do. And I live in a majority black area. So don't stop with this fucking white privilege bullshit.
Organizing a spontaneous meetup in Berlin for marginalized game developers, and how amazing this has been. And this person says, "Oh my god, Marina, I love this." Where she replies by saying, "I was so tired of so many cis white men at meetups." First of all, ladies and gentlemen, behold, diversity and march.
Why? I can't tell, but I can guarantee you, if he's not white, he's a token person. White, female, don't know, female, 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 female. Huh, yeah, that seems very diverse.
Professionalized creators. Yeah, this looks like your typical like games journalist meetup here. But yeah, that's the story with all this. Clearly very unhinged. This person has an issue with white people, white gamers, and it just is blatantly obvious. And of course, as per usual with people like this, she has all that bravado when she's going unquestioned in her echo chamber, but the second she gets any real criticism or blowback, they hide and go private. I mean, we've seen this happen pretty much every single time.
If you can't handle criticism, get off the damn internet.
Now, moving on to the next topic, we're going to shift over into animation studios here.
God. I actually don't like this. YouTube didn't like got rid of the thumbs up because they didn't like criticism. Crunchyroll got rid of the comments section because God knows why. I actually have my theories, but I'll keep them myself. Twitter, you can put yourself on private. Don't be on the internet if you can't take criticism. Freaking, because you're going to get a lot more criticism on the internet since you're anonymous. Since everybody else is anonymous, and if you hide behind anonymity, I need to stop trying to say that fucking word. You know what word I'm talking about? Then you're going to be more ballsy and say more stuff that's on your mind than if you were in face-to-face. Because if you're face-to-face, there's a chance you're going to get your ass kicked.
So similar to what's going on in the gaming industry, you have people just bold-faced saying that they're going to prefer to hire women over men simply because of their gender and nothing to do with their credentials. So here you have Studio Smokescreen, who says, "Big news. We're proud to announce our commitment to..."
Alright, I have at least in America, I have a different issue with that I think needs to get fixed before that does. And it's the fact that a lot of companies will not hire people who just got to get out of high school or just get out of college. And it's not because they're lazy, like everybody says. Everybody says they're lazy because they won't get a job. Well, they can't get a job because entry-level jobs require 5-10 years experience for some godforsaken reason. It's an entry-level job, as in, I'm new, I need a job. Give me the job, not you can enter after 5 years of that you've been working. How are 18-year-olds supposed to survive? Nope, they have to find a job. They got to go to a job at McDonald's. McDonald's requires 5 years experience. Well, you got to go find a job at XYZ. Well, maybe you should start your own business. With what money? It's easier to get a freaking $100,000 student loan than it is to get a $20,000 business loan. We have big issues in America, and we don't need this shit going on.
Make sure that women make up at least 70% of our entire adulting production team. We've partnered with our friends over...
Oh, and that wasn't about me. I actually do have a job.
...at Women in Animation to both get feedback and source talent through the development process. Big news! We're doing a discriminatory hiring practice that's probably illegal in most countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just admitting this outright. Like I said, they are saying that we care more about your gender than your actual credentials, and we will keep some weird status quo number of 70%.
I think Oxford has actually got in trouble for that because it was harder to get some Asian parents or something like that sued Oxford because their child was rejected. And somehow they proved it was because he was Asian that he had to work harder. Which we all knew. It's literally in their guidelines that if you're Asian, you have to get, I can't remember. 1,600 SAT white, 1,400 black, 1,200, something like that. Which, hey, that sounds good. More black people in college. They're less qualified to be there. Which means they're going to have a harder time and struggle more and more likely to fail out. And waste all that money putting them in debt. And they don't even have a degree to show for it. Yeah, that's a very smart idea.
Percent and always uphold it in terms of how many women work at the company. It's very, very strange. And it also reminds people of High Guardian Spice, where they had an all-female cast. And that was an absolute disaster. And it's not really that surprising when you have unhinged people who have a
Okay, I'm gonna tell it like this. No, because I already know it's gonna come. No, it's not because it didn't. It wasn't not liked because it had an all-female cast. They probably just fucked it up and tried to push some kind of agenda. Because guess what else has an all-female, mainly female cast that did decent? Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Guess what else had a? I'm pretty sure it was very successful because I know a lot of people who've seen it and had an all-female cast. Lucky Star. Guess what they didn't do? They didn't push an agenda. The whole point in I said make my didn't I say make my abilities average in the next life is she just wanted an average life with everybody treating her normally and not treating her special because I think she was like very popular and very talented in the last life and it was stressing her or something. And then what's the point in Lucky Star? There is none. It's just them doing stupid shit. It's funny. Turn your brain off and have fun. Guess what they didn't do? They didn't try to shove something down your throat and say, you gotta like this because we said so.
bloodthirst for half of the world's population. It kind of corrupts everything you do in your life when you have this sort of nonsense in your head. But anyways, looking at Studio Smokescreen, you can see that they have a Kickstarter project for their adulting animation, which is what they were mentioning in the original tweet. And let's see the Kickstarter. Oh, it's raised 18,000.
I would totally watch that just for the name. I feel like I'm gonna be severely disappointed if I would do.
Dollars out of its $100,000 goal with 17 hours to go. It's not gonna make it. Anyways, let's move back to the gaming industry here, and we have this headline some people are talking about. Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red opens applications for 2024 edition of annual Girls in the Game mentorship program. Now, if you're shocked,
That's calling it like that, it depends on how they do it, because that on his head is not go against it. Because that implies that it's only for girls, but if you accept applications from men too, then it's still legal. It's just a way to get girls more interested. But if they are excluding guys, then that's a different story.
see CD Projekt Red doing this stuff, you haven't really been paying attention the last couple of years. They have been slowly integrating more and more DEI-related stuff into their company. It's getting pretty obvious what they're focusing on recently. But this sort of mentorship program definitely reminds me of the mentorship program that Ubisoft, my channel, and a lot of other channels talked about a few days ago, where they have a program where you have to...
If it's anything like this one, I already knew the workaround. They're not going to require proof that you identify as non-binary or female. Just say, yeah, I'm non-binary. And the whole time, just don't mention your gender. They can't do shit about it. It's their own rules. They want these loopholes. They want to take advantage of these loopholes. We're going to take advantage of them too.
Identify as a woman or a non-binary individual just to be eligible to apply for this mentorship. Now, bouncing over to CD Projekt Red, you can see in their equitable practices section here, let's read this. We're not afraid to stand up for what we believe in by implementing inclusive benefits and creating a space where everyone can be themselves. We create a positive example for other companies.
Ooh, funny idea. Identify as a non-binary male. Get rejected. Have them reject you because you're a male, and then they're discriminating on you because you're non-binary.
And help affect positive social change. We believe that talented and passionate people are our biggest strength, and creating a strength and inclusive workspace helps us create more room for them in the industry and at our company. And that's the Director of Culture, Diversity, and Inclusion at CD Projekt Red. Now, that is reflected in their Girls in the Game program, where it says, we create a mentoring and scholarship program for high school girls to help them take their first steps in the video game industry. And it basically they go on to talk about how it relates to a lot of their goals at the company. And this is one of those things, like, it's great that you're helping out these high school students and getting them basically their first taste of the industry, but, like, why are you only letting women do this? Like, why not just make it an open mentorship program? You know, you're talking about inclusivity and using all different perspectives to make your product even better because you have everyone involved, but then you have programs like this that are limited to one gender. It just seems very strange, and, like, it could be a very good benefit just to give this to like, I don't understand. But overall, that's kind of the relationship between reactions on social media like this to the gaming industry, as well as animation studios and other forms of entertainment, and how people have gone into those spaces and basically kicked out all the people who were there, particularly men, and created a space where there is a lot of agenda pushing, and a lot of that agenda has to do with hating on men, and it's reflected in the tweets and the public statements of many different developers across the board. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, I appreciate you guys listening. Feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you...
Alright. So, I'll put the link to the original video in the comments. If you want to comment on something that happened in the original video, go to Reb's channel and comment on there. If you want to comment about something I said, call me a fucking idiot who don't know what the hell he's talking about, whatever. Go ahead, comment it down in my channel. Any hate towards me, I accept. Pour it on me, but any hate towards anybody else in the comment section, don't do that shit. Be nice to each other in the comment section. I'm the only one you're allowed to be mean to. Peace.